My name is Alina Mercer. I was 36 years old when my lawyer called and told me my soon-to-be ex-husband wanted the house, both cars, and enough monthly alimony to make sure I stayed punished long after the marriage ended. I was sitting at my desk at work, half listening to the hum of the air conditioner, when my phone lit up with my lawyer's name. Alina, she said, and her voice had that careful tone lawyers use when they already know the news is ridiculous. Adrian's attorney filed his request. I leaned back in my chair. How bad? Pause. He wants the house, both vehicles, and $4,500 a month in alimony. For a second, I genuinely thought I had misheard her. Then, she added, he's claiming he's been unemployed for 2 years and completely financially dependent on you. I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was insane. Unemployed, I said slowly. That's interesting. My lawyer went quiet. Why interesting? I turned my chair toward the window and stared at the parking lot below. Watching people walk to their cars like normal life still made sense. Let me do some digging, I said. I'll call you back. Adrian Vale was 33. Handsome, in a polished, practiced way. The kind of man who always knew where the good light was in a room. We had separated 6 months earlier after I found out about his affair with Jade, his personal trainer. Classic. I know. He moved in with his friend Kendra almost immediately. Or at least, that was what he told everyone. Back then, I was too exhausted to argue. I let him pack his designer hoodies, his camera gear, his protein powders, and his wounded man performance. And I changed the locks the next morning. But 2 weeks before the separation, I had noticed strange charges on one of his credit cards. Ring lights, professional camera equipment, expensive underwear brands I had never heard of, subscription software, a second phone payment. When I asked him, he said it was for a fitness, photography, hobby. He had smiled when he said it, too. That soft, patient smile he used whenever he wanted me to feel controlling for asking basic questions. You always assume the worst, he told me. I remembered apologizing. That memory made my stomach turn. After my lawyer's call, I opened my laptop and started where Adrian had always lived. Most honestly, online. Adrian was addicted to TikTok. Not casually, obsessively. Posting 10, 15 times a day. Gym clips, meal prep, shirtless motivational speeches in parking garages, little quotes about healing masculine energy and escaping toxic environments. He was never smart about privacy settings. It took me 20 minutes to find the account he thought I didn't know about. Vale After Dark. The bio read, your favorite, almost divorced husband, living his best life. Top 3% creator. I sat there staring at the screen, my pulse suddenly loud in my ears. Then, I started scrolling. Video after video. Adrian showing off a luxury apartment that was definitely not Kendra's guest room. Adrian unboxing a new laptop. Adrian filming himself in a boutique gym mirror with the caption, when your ex thinks you're broke, but you made $18K last month. The comments were exactly what you'd expect. Get that bag. King, teach us the method. Your ex fumbled. Financially free. One video, posted 3 weeks earlier, was titled, Point of View. Your ex-wife thinks you need her money. In it, Adrian smirked at the camera, lifted a coffee cup, and said, some people really believe being married to them was the prize. I felt something cold settle behind my ribs. Not heartbreak, not even anger, clarity. He had not just lied to me, he had built an entire second life while sleeping beside me. Then, walked into court, pretending I was the only thing keeping him alive. I screen recorded everything, every single video. Then I went deeper. His TikTok linked to his Twitter. Same username. Same smug little branding. His pinned post said, just bought myself a new laptop and iPhone 15 Pro Max. Solo boss things. Link in bio. The link led to a paid creator page, The timeline showed he had been running it for over a year, while we were still married. A year. A year of him telling me money was tight. A year of him asking why I was so stressed when I carried the mortgage, utilities, insurance, and groceries. A year of him letting me believe his silence at dinner was depression, not secrecy. I called my lawyer back. How does his claim of unemployment work? I asked. If he's been running a paid creator account and making $18,000 a month, there was silence on the other end. Then my lawyer said, very softly, "Are you serious?" "Dead serious. I have proof. Send everything. Now." I sent the videos, screenshots, links, captions, comments, dates, and anything else I could save before Adrian realized the internet was not a diary. It was evidence. The next day, Adrian's lawyer, Mr. Hutchinson, called mine for what he described as a friendly negotiation. He was cocky. Apparently, talked about Adrian like he was some fragile, abandoned man who had given up everything for our marriage and now needed substantial support to maintain his lifestyle. My lawyer asked one question. Is your client currently employed? No, Hutchinson said. He's been unable to work due to emotional distress from the marriage breakdown. My lawyer told me later she smiled when he said it. Interesting, she replied. We'll see you in court. That should have been the moment Adrian stayed quiet. But Adrian had never known how to stay quiet. He started posting Instagram stories about survival, about narcissistic women, about financial abuse, about how dangerous it was when a woman earned money and used it to control a man. His mother, Lorraine, commented on every post with prayer hands and stay strong. Baby. Kendra reposted everything with captions like, the truth always comes out. And then, Adrian made the mistake that made my lawyer actually laugh out loud. He posted a TikTok titled, Divorce Day Countdown, Securing My Bag. In it, he joked about how his ex-wife thought he was broke, but didn't know about his secret empire. It got over 1 million views. The algorithm loved him. For about 5 minutes, because he followed it with a day in my life as a single boss video. Morning routine, in a luxury apartment, $12 custom coffee, workout at an expensive boutique gym, nail appointment, shopping haul from Nordstrom, BMW keys tossed onto a marble counter, all while claiming in court documents that he was unemployed, emotionally damaged, and financially dependent on me. I watched the video twice. The first time, my hands shook. The second time, I smiled. Not because I was happy, because Adrian had always believed charm was the same thing as intelligence. And now, he was about to learn the difference. By the following morning, my lawyer had already organized every screenshot, every screen recording, every caption, and every timestamp into a neat digital folder. She called me before lunch. I've handled plenty of ugly divorces, she said. I've never had a client whose opposing party documented their own deception this thoroughly. It almost feels too easy. It won't stay easy, she warned. People who lie this confidently usually panic when the truth catches up. She was right. Within days, Adrian's online persona became even louder. Instead of disappearing, he doubled down. Every other TikTok painted him as the abandoned husband, rebuilding his life after surviving a controlling marriage. He cried on camera. He talked about healing. He spoke in vague phrases about manipulation and emotional abuse, careful never to mention names, while making sure everyone knew exactly who he meant. Thousands of strangers flooded the comments with sympathy. Stay strong. You deserve better. She sounds toxic. If I had read those comments 6 months earlier, they would have destroyed me. Now they simply reminded me how easy it was to perform for people who only saw 60 seconds at a time. Meanwhile, my lawyer filed a discovery request, seeking Adrian's financial records. His attorney immediately objected. He claimed Adrian's private finances were irrelevant and invasive. The judge disagreed. If your client is requesting financial support based upon dependency, the written order stated, his income sources are directly relevant. Motion denied. When my lawyer forwarded me the ruling, I felt something I hadn't experienced since the separation. Hope. Adrian must have received the same notice that afternoon, because my phone rang less than an hour later. His name flashed across the screen. We had a no-contact agreement. I answered anyway. "What are you doing?" he shouted before I could even speak. "I'm working." "You know exactly what I mean." "I don't." "You're trying to humiliate me." I let the silence stretch. Finally I asked, "By pointing out, you're earning money. That's different." "How? My creator page isn't a real job." "The IRS may see it differently." His breathing became louder. "You always have to ruin everything." "No. Adrian. I simply refuse to finance your lies. I'll destroy your reputation. You've been trying. You'll regret this." He hung up. 10 minutes later, another series of TikToks appeared. My abusive ex-wife is stalking my social media. Successful women hate seeing men win. She can't control me anymore. One clip showed him fake crying while sitting beside a stack of neatly organized bills. Unfortunately for him, he held them close enough for the camera to read. $3,000 monthly rent, $800 BMW payment, luxury streaming subscriptions, designer clothing purchases. The video was meant to inspire sympathy. Instead, it became another exhibit. His mother, Lorraine, joined the performance. She turned Facebook into her personal campaign headquarters. She wrote long, emotional posts, describing Adrian as a broken man, abandoned by a cold career woman who wanted to leave him homeless. Her book club friends shared everything. Some even tried leaving one-star reviews online, claiming I abused vulnerable men. The problem? I worked for a large corporation. They accidentally review-bombed a small local business owned by another woman named Alina Mercer. The owner eventually contacted me. "I think your ex's supporters are attacking the wrong person." We both laughed harder than either of us probably should have. Then Adrian committed another spectacular mistake. He launched a crowdfunding page. Support Adrian's legal battle. The description claimed he was a struggling, unemployed husband fighting against a wealthy, vindictive ex-wife, determined to leave him with nothing. Goal: $50,000. Within 48 hours, strangers donated more than $3,000. His followers, his paying subscribers, people who genuinely believed his story. I forwarded everything to my lawyer. She called 5 minutes later sounding almost delighted. "This," she said, "is one of the worst ideas he's had." I was thinking the same. He's simultaneously claiming poverty in court while asking the public for financial help, despite publicly celebrating 5-figure monthly earnings. So keep letting him talk. Sometimes, the smartest legal strategy isn't speaking, it's allowing the other side enough rope. Then something happened. None of us expected. Kendra decided she was going to defend Adrian publicly. She went live on Instagram. Nearly 20,000 people joined. She spent almost an hour describing me as controlling, cheap, emotionally unavailable, and obsessed with work. According to her, Adrian had suffered quietly throughout our marriage. Then someone asked a simple question in the comments. If Alina is so cheap, how does Adrian afford everything he posts? Kendra answered without thinking. "Oh, please. Adrian makes his own money. He doesn't need her salary. Honestly, he earns more in 1 month than she probably does in 3. The live chat exploded. Kendra froze. She realized what she'd admitted. Someone clipped the video before she could delete it. By sunset, the recording sat safely inside my lawyer's evidence folder. The timing couldn't have been more perfect. A few days later, my friend Marcus, who worked in corporate accounting, called me. "I've been thinking about something." "What?" "Independent creators receive tax forms." "I know. If Adrian earned what he claims online, there should be tax records." The room suddenly felt very quiet. I immediately called my lawyer. She didn't even let me finish. I was already preparing the request. Over the next week, Adrian's attorney fought desperately to prevent disclosure. Every motion failed. Every objection was denied. Each denial seemed to make Adrian more frantic. His uploads became increasingly emotional. Some days, he insisted he was unemployed. Other days, he bragged about entrepreneurship. Sometimes, those two videos appeared within hours of each other. The contradictions became impossible to ignore. Even strangers began questioning him. Wait. Weren't you just saying you make 18 grand a month? Why are you asking for donations if you're rich? His comments slowly shifted. Support became skepticism. Sympathy became ridicule. Then, the afternoon before trial, my lawyer received an emergency phone call. Mr. Hutchinson wanted to settle. We met in her office. She placed her phone on speaker. My client, Hutchinson began carefully, is prepared to accept a reasonable compromise. My lawyer folded her arms. I'm listening. $100,000. I nearly laughed. No monthly alimony. He keeps his vehicle. And both parties move forward. I looked at my lawyer. She looked back at me. Neither of us spoke for several seconds. Finally, she asked one question. Does your client intend to amend his sworn financial disclosures? Silence. Hutchinson cleared his throat. That isn't necessary if we settle. My lawyer smiled. It is for us. This is becoming vindictive. No, she answered calmly. This is becoming accountable. You simply want to shame him. He accomplished that himself. Another silence. We'll see you tomorrow. The call ended. My lawyer closed her notebook. Any second thoughts? I pictured every late night I'd worked overtime while Adrian insisted he couldn't contribute because he was finding himself. I remembered every bill I'd quietly paid. Every apology I'd made after questioning obvious lies. Every moment I'd blamed myself because he was so convincing. No, I answered. Good. She gathered the evidence into one thick binder. Tomorrow, the performance ends. I nodded slowly. Outside the office windows, the evening sky was turning orange. For the first time in months, I wasn't afraid of walking into court. I was almost curious. Because Adrian still believed this case was about telling the better story, he hadn't realized it had become about proving the truth. The morning of the hearing arrived colder than I expected. I stood outside the courthouse for a moment, took one slow breath, and reminded myself that facts don't panic. People do. Inside, Adrian was already there. He had traded his expensive designer clothes for a plain black shirt, faded slacks, and a tired expression that looked carefully rehearsed. His hair was deliberately messy. There wasn't a trace of the confident man who had danced around a luxury apartment on TikTok, talking about his secret empire. Behind him sat his mother, Lorraine. Kendra sat beside her. His younger sister, Gabrielle, looked uncomfortable, barely making eye contact with anyone. The moment Adrian noticed me, he lowered his eyes as if I were the villain he couldn't bear to face. 6 months earlier, that performance might have broken my heart. Now it simply confirmed we were exactly where we needed to be. Judge Eleanor Martinez entered the courtroom with the expression of someone who had heard every excuse imaginable. After everyone was seated, she reviewed the initial filing. So, she said calmly, adjusting her glasses. Mr. Adrian Vale is requesting the marital home, both vehicles, and $4,500 per month in alimony based upon complete financial dependence resulting from 2 years of unemployment. She looked toward Adrian's attorney. Is that correct? Mr. Hutchinson. Yes, Your Honor. She nodded. And Ms. Merced. My lawyer stood. Your Honor, we have substantial evidence showing Mr. Vale has been earning significant income that he failed to disclose to both this court and his own attorney. Mr. Hutchinson immediately stood. Objection. We have not reviewed this evidence. My lawyer remained perfectly calm. Much of it was publicly posted online by Mr. Amos Vale himself. Judge Martinez raised one eyebrow. Continue. My lawyer connected her laptop to the courtroom display. The first video filled the screen. Adrian stood inside his luxury apartment, laughing into the camera. $18,000 this month. My ex still thinks I'm broke. Silence spread across the courtroom. Second video. Divorce day countdown. Time to secure the bag. Third video. The luxury apartment tour. Fourth video. His celebration of becoming a top 3% creator. Each clip lasted less than a minute. Each one destroyed another piece of his story. Judge Martinez turned slowly toward Adrian. Mr. Val. He swallowed. Yes. Your Honor, are you employed? He hesitated. It's not exactly traditional employment. I asked whether you earn income. It's complicated. No. Her voice sharpened. It is not. Another pause. Finally, he whispered. Yes. The judge looked toward Mr. Five. Hutchinson. Counsel. Were you aware your client was earning this income? His face had completely lost its color. No. Your Honor. My lawyer wasn't finished. She displayed charts summarizing Adrian's earnings from publicly available creator statistics, together with financial records obtained during discovery. These records show consistent monthly earnings, ranging between $15,000 and $22,000, for approximately 14 months. Judge Martinez looked back at Adrian. 14 months. Yes. You earned this while married. Yes. And yet you submitted sworn documents, claiming complete unemployment. Adrian didn't answer. The silence spoke for him. My lawyer continued. Your Honor, we also discovered Mr. Vale created a crowdfunding campaign, claiming financial hardship. The GoFundMe page appeared on the courtroom monitor. Goal: $50,000. Description: a struggling unemployed husband, fighting against financial abuse. Judge Martinez's expression hardened. Mr. Val, did you create this fundraiser? Yes. Did you claim financial hardship, while simultaneously earning approximately $18,000 per month? I have expenses. That was not my question. Before Adrian could answer again, Lorraine suddenly stood from the gallery. My son is being persecuted because he's an entrepreneur. The judge looked up. Mom. Sit down. This courtroom is discriminating against him. I said, sit down. You just hate successful men. Judge Martinez nodded toward the bailiff. Please escort her outside. Lorraine continued shouting all the way to the hallway about unfair treatment and corruption. The heavy courtroom doors finally closed behind her. Silence returned. Judge Martinez turned back toward Adrian. Did you also fail to disclose this income to your own attorney? He stared at the table. Yes. Mr. Hutchinson closed his eyes. He looked as though he wanted the floor to open beneath him. Then my lawyer presented the final piece. Your Honor, subpoenaed tax documents indicate substantial creator income that appears not to have been properly reported. The appropriate tax authorities have already been notified. For the first time that day, Adrian cried. Not the practiced tears from social media. Real ones. His shoulders shook. His hands covered his face. He whispered something I couldn't hear. Judge Martinez called a brief recess. When everyone returned, 20 minutes later, the courtroom felt different. The performance was over. Only consequences remained. Judge Martinez spoke slowly and clearly. Even Mr. Adrian Vale's testimony, entirely lacking in credibility. She paused. He deliberately misrepresented his financial condition to this court? Another pause. His request for alimony is denied. I released a breath. I hadn't realized I'd been holding the marital residence, purchased solely by Miss Mercer prior to the marriage, remains her separate property. I closed my eyes for 1 second. He may retain his personal vehicle and personal belongings. Reasonable. Fair. Exactly as it should be. Each party shall be responsible for their own legal fees. Then came the sentence that changed everything. Furthermore, I am referring this matter to the appropriate authorities for investigation regarding potential fraud resulting from knowingly false sworn statements. Adrian looked up in complete disbelief. This isn't fair. Judge Martinez didn't even blink. You created this outcome when you chose dishonesty. The gavel struck. We are finished. Outside the courtroom, Adrian tried to approach me. The bailiff stopped him before he reached me. I walked straight past without saying a word. There was nothing left to discuss. The aftermath unfolded almost exactly the way my lawyer predicted. Adrian uploaded a tearful TikTok insisting he was being persecuted. The comments didn't support him anymore. This isn't about your job. It's about lying under oath. You tried to scam the court. Even many of his longtime followers abandoned him. His subscriber count dropped, week after week. Mr. Hutchinson formally withdrew from representing him, explaining that his client had concealed critical financial information. The tax authorities opened an audit. Accounts were frozen. Back taxes appeared. The crowdfunding campaign was investigated. Every donor received a refund. Yade, the personal trainer he had cheated with, disappeared almost immediately. A week later, she posted a vague quote about protecting your peace from dishonest people. Apparently, peace looked a lot more attractive than unpaid legal bills. Kendra eventually posted her own live stream, complaining that Adrian had stopped paying his share of the rent. I defended him for months, she said. Turns out he lied to everyone. The internet preserved that clip too. Gabrielle surprise de me. She called one evening. I'm sorry, she said quietly. I didn't know he was lying. I believe you. He borrowed money from me for months. He kept saying you had abandoned him. I'm sorry he lied to you too. That conversation gave me more peace than I expected. Not because it changed the past, because someone finally chose honesty. Months later, Adrian appeared on a podcast about surviving divorce. He repeated every accusation, claimed the judge was biased, claimed I weaponized my career, claimed he was a victim. Within hours, listeners filled the comments with court records and screenshots from his own social media. The episode disappeared the next day. His attempt to launch an online course about surviving narcissistic divorce collapsed almost immediately. Very few people enrolled. Most demanded refunds after learning the full story. As for me, life became wonderfully quiet. I received a promotion at work. I renovated the spare bedroom Adrian once used as his filming studio. It became my home gym. Bright walls, plants by the window, no ring lights, no fake smiles, just peace. A few months later, I met Daniel. He teaches high school history. He barely uses social media. The first time I showed him Adrian's old videos, he laughed so hard. He had to wipe tears from his eyes. I can't believe he uploaded his own evidence. Neither can I. Last I heard, Adrian was working at a small boutique owned by one of Lorraine's friends while making monthly payments on his tax debt. His creator page had become almost irrelevant. His new TikTok about rebuilding after injustice barely attracted any attention. Lorraine eventually lost several social media accounts after repeatedly harassing strangers. The fraud investigation continued. Whenever people ask whether I feel sorry for Adrian, my answer never changes. No. Not because he had an affair, not because he embarrassed himself online, because he looked a court in the eye. Lied, under oath. I tried to take everything I had built and believed no one would ever discover the truth. The only regret I carry is ignoring the warning signs for so long, the expensive demands, the endless entitlement, the way he believed consequences were for other people. My lawyer still jokes that Adrian's TikTok account should be required viewing for every future divorce client, a masterclass in what never to post during active litigation, and a reminder that sometimes the loudest person in the room is also the one documenting their own downfall.